So thank you for joining. Those of you who are just coming on, I'm doing this little segment to see what we can do to help people right now during this COVID-19. And I have here Nikki, who's going to speak a little bit about some tips that you can use for your family or for yourself to help get you through this time, because we're all dealing with this collectively in our own way. But it's good to get some guidance, and sometimes with some guidance and some tips, we are able to acknowledge some of these things that are happening. So thank you for coming on, Nikki.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. So again, my name is Nikki Oishi. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I have a small private practice here on the North Shore in Wailua. And so my friend Grace asked if I would say a few things today about just some little things we can practice to feel a little bit better during these pretty stressful, challenging times. I know that's a kind of a funny one to say, but really it's just sort of being okay with what you're feeling, even if it's not feeling okay. It's totally reasonable given the stressful situation with the whole worldwide pandemic situation to feel worried or anxious, or even a little irritable, even lonely. So I think what people do is they inadvertently make things worse by feeling really bad about the way they're feeling. So they might feel, for example, angry that they can't stop worrying about it. They're mad at themselves, or they feel guilty that they feel irritable or lonely. So that adding another layer of negative feeling just makes things worse. So just to feel okay with the fact that you might be worried, or feeling okay with the fact that you're feeling a little unmotivated or just off in some way, that having that self-compassion and just being patient with yourself actually helps you feel a little better, and also opens the door to problem solving. So in other words, if I accept that I'm just really worried about things, and then I can think about how I can deal with that. If I'm going to push against that or try to resist that I feel that way, it just creates more negative feeling. Yeah.
Right. I totally agree. Be kind to yourself.
Yes, exactly. During these hard times. So that's important kind of at any point in time in our lives, but it definitely when we have the situation that we have no control over right now. So this is something that's naturally occurring. It's a virus, and it's going to do what it's going to do. We don't have any control over that. We don't have any control over the policies that are being sent down about what we need to do, like the stay-at-home order and not being able to work. All those things we don't have control over. We have to sort of accept that. And what also helps is to shift our focus away from these things that we don't have control over and can't change, to the things that we do have control over, the things that we have the ability to change or influence, at least, right? So we have control over our thoughts and our feelings with some effort, right? We have control over what we do with our spare time. We have control over the way we interact with other people, and that we respond to things, our routines. So we actually have a lot more control over things than we realize, as long as we're focusing on those things and not the things we don't have control over, accepting that there is going to be a list of things we don't have the ability to change, but there is pretty substantial amount of things we do have the ability to change. Sometimes hard to resist doing, but in the end, I think it just benefits us all in the long run. Right now, everything on the news, pretty much a majority of everything on social media is related to the COVID-19 pandemic. So I think it's really normal to want to stay informed. And I'm thinking it's good to stay informed. But, it's funny, when we feel nervous or anxious about what's going on, we don't realize that our brain isn't really weighing all the data really efficiently, because the brain doesn't work like that. So the brain really looks for really memorable or easy to remember facts, images, and those facts and images paired with a strong emotion create a really strong bind, which is what creates the anxiety or the nervousness or worry, excessive worry. So when we keep giving ourselves more facts and more strong images paired with strong emotions, when we see those things or hear those things, that makes that association even harder to kind of break apart. And so we may be getting other pieces of information, but it's like once we have that strong association of emotion and images and facts, even positive data isn't really going to help break that up. So it's helpful to just minimize or limit how much new information, images, and emotions we expose ourselves to. So if we make a plan to just watch the news or check social media once or twice a day, or just less than what you already do, you're going to notice that you'll have an opportunity for your mind to like ease up with that strong association of scary facts and images and strong emotion. So just kind of being aware that the news is often repetitive, so it's not a whole lot always of new information. It's just repeating old information, adding in some new information. So it's not always necessary to watch every single opportunity of the news. And then social media often has a lot of really strong opinions, people venting strong emotions, which can just help us make us feel worse, right?
Right.
So limiting how much.
And if you're going to go on, make those filters so that, okay, you're going to make that one day or one hour of the day that you're going to go on, whatever it is, but guard yourself when you go in. Don't be part of the groups that are really chaotic and with like lots of trollers on it. Just gets sucked in. So add your filters.
That's a really good tip. During this time, which is very stressful, it's really easy to forget to do that, right? So little things like we're stuck at home, so I'm sure a lot of people, I've heard this from clients, eating more, right? So we have constant access to food, or we're bored, so we're maybe making new recipes or just eating more with the downtime. Things like just staying up late at night because you don't have to wake up early anymore. So just having wacky sleeping hours. Of course, being stuck at home, maybe limited amount of physical activity. So all of those things, the physical self-care, right? Just being mindful of how much you're eating, what you're eating, when having a sleep routine, even though we don't have the normal routine that we would have when we're working, just having some sort of sleep routine is really good for our bodies. And then of course, physical activity, even with limited access to things like the gym or whatever, just figuring something out to nourish your body. So as well as emotional and mental self-care, just being mindful of your thoughts, being mindful of your conversations. So like you said, with the notifications, just knowing that's something that you need to do for yourself. Very important.
Yes. I like that, you know, some people find spaces in their own home because they're, you know, some families are stuck in one home, kids, and they just find either like, it could be outside in the yard where you just sit quietly, or on the hammock, or in your room, door shut.
Being creative, right? Exactly.
Yes. And just having a moment, because you have to do that for yourself and reset, decompress, whatever you need to do, whatever, I don't know, do your nails.
Yes.
In your room by yourself.
Exactly. So take a bath, right? It's all self-care.
So like you said, you know, don't stay up late and think, okay, I don't have to work the next day, so I'm going to just sleep in, and then throw your whole day off the next day and then feel like crap that you didn't do anything. So it's not really helping you emotionally deal with
it catches up with you.
So share a little bit about routine and environment.
Well, like you just said, I think if you kind of let yourself do whatever, eat whatever, sleep whenever, stay up till whenever, it's okay in the beginning, but ultimately over time you start to feel a little bit kind of lost and unmotivated. There's no focus, right? So you need to put back into place some sort of routine, just to keep a sense of structure in your life and feel energized. Otherwise you just kind of feel very just lost and unfocused. And it's particularly if you have kids that are at home with you as well, they will just really have a hard time without some sort of routine. You know, Grace, you and I both have kids. So for adults as well. And having your home environment, if you're going to be stuck at home, like we all are, have your home environment be just pleasant. Whether I'm not talking about like spick and span, like clean, just tidy and organized, so you can feel that way in your mind. You can feel a sense of, I don't know, just calm and peace if your home looks that way. So just being mindful that your environment visually, the way it looks, is going to affect the way you feel, especially if you have to spend your whole day in your home, right?
So true. I always hear this term, it's called the new norm. But the thing is that it's your new norm. So we can control that. We can add positive things, and it doesn't have to be a negative connotation of the new norm.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking of it.
So if your routine was, you know, to drive through traffic, like I said before, drive through traffic, be in a cubicle in an office from 9 to 5, change that. What is your new norm? Is it get up, meditate, and exercise before you start the day because you couldn't do that before? So it's an opportunity again for people to create a new norm.
Yeah, that's a great word, opportunity, instead of a problem. It's an opportunity.
Yes, and I feel like replacing $1 cup of coffee and you're waking up and having time to do that versus a $5 cup of coffee actually makes you like the coffee more. and you know, you can appreciate the little things now. You can really appreciate those things instead of being at this fast pace before. So enjoy, because it will go back, and you don't want to regret this opportunity to.
And then you'll wish you could go back. I think so, definitely, to start a project, or to clean out or organize storage spaces that you've been dying to get to, or like to take an online course and really enhance what it is that you're doing in your career or your personal life. You're not going to have that time again when this, you know, life goes back to normal. So really, like you said, that word opportunity, changing the narrative from this is so stressful and it's a problem to maybe it's an opportunity.
Right.
Yes. Very important, I think, during this time that we're all stuck at home, and probably feeling really out of sorts because we're not able to see and connect with the same people we normally would, with whether it's coworkers, right, or it's our friends that we get together with on Friday evenings after a long week, whatever it is, or even extended family members that we have, like you know, family dinners with once a month that we're used to seeing on a regular basis, because, you know, humans are very social species, and if we don't have that interaction, we do feel a little off, because we're evolved and we're wired for that sort of connection. So it's more work, right, to set up a time to FaceTime or a Skype call with somebody, but if you get into the routine, again, looping back into the routine tip, if you're in the routine of setting up a time where you're going to check in with a good friend or a coworker that you miss seeing, or a family member that you haven't got to talk to, really helps we feel more at ease when we stay connected with people, and we kind of can overlook that really easily. It could just be texting. You know, texting is really easy because you can get to it whenever you have time, or respond when you have time. Staying connected to people, text, how are you doing? Is really important, right? Asking how people are doing and them asking you how you're doing, and sharing that connection is really important. Yeah,
it's good. Zoom has been very busy.
Yes, it has.
A lot of video chats, you know, and birthdays are being done on there, anniversaries are being done on there. So
graduation.
I mean, it's great to have at least that platform. But if you want more information, Nikki is available. She is located in Wailua, but I'm sure you're doing things via video.
All virtually right now, yes.
Yeah, so I guess it really doesn't matter where on the island you are.
No.
So if you, I'm going to put her information in the link so that you can contact her. She can help you, assist you with, she does marriage counseling as well. So if you want to reach out to her, if there's something, I mean, this is a great opportunity, like we said. So if there's something that you want to work on, that maybe you didn't have time to maybe sit down with a therapist and speak about things that you put off for a long time. So
that's a good
and it's
point.
great.
If you didn't have time to, drive to and from, or, get time off during your work week to go see a therapist, now you have time.
You have time and the convenience of your home. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for those of you who listened. If you want more information in the future, we're going to do a little bit of touches on tips or have questions for Nikki. Put them in the comments below. Aloha and have a great day.
Thanks, Grace.
Please do share if you found this helpful.